pressed for time because we only have a couple hours of daylight, so we got to see everything, but we're really excited to be here. Thank you guys so much. Just here as tourists, seeing it, looks like an incredible place. We've been talking about going for a while. I was actually supposed to be here last spring for some of the stuff I do in my free time, but just really excited to be here. Awesome country. The scenery coming in was just spectacular, so just very excited to be here. Thank you.
This looks like the runway Santa Claus would land at.
He says hello. Okay. We were talking to him yesterday, so he says hello to everyone in Greenland. We're a little pressed for time.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins of the Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. That bobblehead got me. I had not seen this full video. I'd only seen a couple seconds. I was like, oh, I'll show you on the show. It'll be great. And I did not see that bobblehead on the front of that plane. It got me. So if you heard coughing, that was me trying to cover up my laugh while the video was.
You don't think Trump wouldn't have a Trump bobblehead on his plane?
Yeah.
Come on now.
That was awesome, dude. That was awesome, man. So anyway, our video title today, or the title of the thumbnail we got, is Trump Conquers the World. And man, is he. He's going hard. You know, I mean, Kamala Harris, confirmed him yesterday as the incoming president. She had to do the whole vote tally thing. So, we do have a new president ready to be seated on the 20th. So this is going to be awesome, man. We got the world's in a better place now. So, yeah, Trump is talking about making some major moves. Now, whether or not it's just political posturing or if he's serious, I think it's all in good fun. A lot of stuff Trump says, again, it's like what the media has been doing for him the past 10 years. I mean, he's bombastic. He's bombastic and ridiculous, so he makes bold claims and says big things. It's like, I have the biggest crowds ever. It's like, fact check, false. Trump does not have the biggest crowds ever. It's like, he's just, it's like what Gandalf says, all great stories deserve embellishment, So, of course, Trump's going to be braggadocious on himself. We all are. It's like whenever you catch a fish, it's like, I caught a fish that was this big, but it's like, what do you tell people? It was this big, It's like, of course.
I killed a buck. It was the biggest buck I've ever seen.
Exactly.
In my life.
I killed a buck this season. It's bigger than any buck that anybody else has ever shot. And it's like, but it was a 6-pointer. It was the biggest 6-pointer you ever saw. He had a small rack, but it was a huge deer. So anyway, that's what we're talking about here. Trump conquers the world, and man, and the whole Greenland thing. He talked about taking over Greenland last time he was in office, but he's talking about putting tariffs on Dane, right, or the Danish, in order to
acquire it.
Acquire it.
And that's the funny part, is like it says here, the Danish prime minister is like, we are not interested in selling it, and we believe in Greenland sovereignty. But the Greenland people seem very open to the idea of becoming an American,
territory.
Nation,
American territory. I'm for it, man. Just let's put some pressure on the Danes, and we'll say, hey, guess what? Greenland's ours. We're closer anyway.
Yeah, and that's what I've got. Our first story here. I pulled up an article from The Guardian.
Yeah.
Trump refuses to rule out using military to take Panama Canal and Greenland. And that is not what he said. He's like, the media guy was like, are you opposed using economic or military involvement for taking, Panama back or whatever? And he's just like, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do, but it's not out of the question. Like, if you tell your enemies what you're going to do, they know how to counter you. So
yes.
That's the whole point. You're talking to the man who made the art of the deal. He is not going to be like, yeah, I'm going to tell you exactly what I want and what I'm going to do, so that way you literally know how to counter me when I come to you.
Again, it's like, let's put all of our cards on the table. That way the other side knows what the thing is. Like, and of course, they write the most ridiculous bombastic. Okay, so it's like it's bad when Trump's bombastic, but whenever the media makes the title, it goes, Trump refuses to say military's not off the line for trying to acquire these countries and these territories. It's like, why do you just go to the extreme every single time? Mm-hmm. Every single time. And everyone's like, you can trust the media. The media is good. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, this article should alone just be like, this is patently ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the exact same reasoning behind, like, if we threaten to pull a base away from a country, they're like, that's like most of our income comes from that American military base.
What
like,
are you talking
no kidding.
about? Yeah. But you know what's even dumber, too? It's like, what they really need to do is just be like, it's like Trump has said, I'll bomb the shit out of him. It's like, did he say I'm going to bomb the shit out of him whenever he said, I'm thinking about acquiring these territories? He goes, and if they don't, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. Like, was that even mentioned? Did he even say anything close to that? But no, it's like, that's what they'd have you believe. It's like, he'll do it. He'll do it. But I guess it's a good thing too. I mean, if the media is left wing enough and they run with that type of article and headline, it will scare the people who use the territories. It's like the Danes are like, well, maybe he will use nukes on us.
The problem is, you would hope that the media would be like, we know he's. You'd hope it was like back in the day when the media would be like on the side of the president, and they'd be like, hey, yeah, we want the other countries to think that our president's crazy, but the problem is now is they actually believe that the president's crazy too. So like other nations, like, he must really want to bomb us right now.
Yeah. Again, it's like when the weaponization of the media works in your favor, despite the fact that they're patently absurd with what they're saying about you. So
exactly. But here's what I've got. Donald Trump is refusing to rule out using American military force to retake control of the Panama Canal and seize Greenland, citing economic security as a driving factor. Speaking at a Tuesday press conference at Mar-a-Lago, the incoming U.S. president explicitly declined to give assurances against using military or economic coercion when pressed about his plans regarding the Panama and Greenland. So let's see. The biggest powerhouse in the world that literally runs security for most of the Western world is like, hey, we're not going to rule out. They're like, he might use military force. We've always been the military force. If we threaten that, they got mad whenever like Trump threatened to pull the troops in like that base from Germany. Like, oh, you're gonna make deals with the Russian stuff. What happens if we take our army base out of Germany? Like, and then they all got bitter. No, we couldn't. We don't want you to do that, Mr. Trump. Like, okay, that's using military force or military might and economic might in the exact same circle, right there.
Again, it's like by military might could just mean we're going to withhold our military presence in an area, which also pisses people off. It's like, hey, we're sick of being the world police. It's like whenever Trump did the NATO deal. It's like going, why are we paying for NATO? You guys aren't even paying your portion of the NATO cost. America's paying the portion of your NATO cost.
Exactly.
And they're like, but we haven't had to do it since NATO was founded. And it goes, and Trump's like, tough shit. It's like we're paying the lion's share of this thing already, and you guys aren't even paying your share. So. Yep. Again, no matter what Trump does, he's going to be hated by the media.
Exactly. So get back to it. I can't assure you on either of those two, Trump said in response to the reporter's question. But I can say this. We need them for economic security. And it's true. They are very mineral rich. Like I said, they are oil. They have high oil deposits and other types of mineral deposits that we could use to leverage to our advantage in the future. Since we can't drill on the United States soil, imagine if we had Greenland and there's not the sanctions. If we don't make it a U.S. state and it just is a territory, we can do whatever we want on that territory as long as we get approval from the
local municipality and government.
So we can literally drill there.
It's good stuff. I mean, like they're rich in natural resources and oil. So I mean, it's going to be a good thing for them, a good thing for us. It will create jobs. It will create wealth. And most of that country or that territory is like Canada. It's not inhabitable.
Anyway. Back to it. I said the remarks came during a rambling session with the journalists at his Florida resort home. Why do they keep saying that? Like, they already said Mar-a-Lago. Why do we need to know that it's at the Florida resort home?
Because they just want to let you know that he's wealthy and, it's a luxury resort.
Yeah, good Lord. I will probably set off diplomatic alarm bells around the world as Trump prepares to return to the White House later this month with the agenda of a muscular American nationalism.
Woo!
Yeah. Trump claimed the Panama Canal, which is referring to the Panamanian control in 1999 under a 1977 treaty, was being operated by China, an assertion that comes amid his repeated calls for a strategic waterway to be returned to U.S. control. The Panama Canal was built for our military, Trump said. Look, the Panama Canal is vital for our country. It's being operated by China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We did not give it to China. When it came to Greenland, Trump threatened economic retaliation against Denmark, noting that the country resisted his territorial ambitions. He would tariff Denmark at a very high level. His tough talk is also extended due north as he reiterated his interest in using economic force to make Canada a U.S. state and criticized U.S. military support for one of its closest allies.
Yeah, and again, dude, Trump dunked on Trudeau so hard. I guess Trudeau came down here to negotiate at Mar-a-Lago or something, and whatever happened Justin Trudeau got him so butthurt that he resigned as the prime minister because he knows he can't handle Donald Trump. There's a lot of stuff going on.
We just talked about. He asked him what could the U.S. do to economically crush you? Like, as a nation, and he told him what it was.
And he goes,
Trump,
"That's what we're gonna do."
Well, that's what we're gonna do to you. So that's the problem. You literally, that's why he's not giving the reporters that exact same reasons. Like, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do with Panama or Greenland.
Again, it's like Trudeau is acting like Obama. Like Obama came to his political opponents with all of his cards out, goes, "Here's my cards. This is what I'll do. This is how I'm going to play them." It's like, Mr. Tell Putin that we're more flexible than the previous regime was. Like, what are you doing there, man? Like, you're basically saying we're on your side. I'm going to bat for you.
If you recall, after Obama said that,
they invaded Georgia.
Yeah,
shortly after.
That's exactly right. Crimea as well later on. But anyway, back to it. Canadian rejected. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is gone now, he's resigned.
No, he's still acting.
He's still there, but
I mean, he's officially resigned.
But rejected Trump's comment, saying there is not a snowball chance in hell that Canada will become part of the United States. Which I hope it doesn't, because Canada is too liberal. If it became the 51st state, we would never win an election again with all those liberal commie Canadians.
Yeah.
But anyway, Trump was speaking as his son Donald Trump Jr. touched down in Greenland's capital of Nuuk, where he reportedly distributed to make Greenland great again hats, despite claiming to be visiting as purely as a tourist.
I love it.
Which is what we opened with.
Why do you take Charlie Kirk with?
Dude, just Charlie Kirk. He's prominent political figure. Donald Trump Jr. is more of a business figure than he is a political figure.
Yeah.
So I think he was bringing someone along that could help him,
navigate the political scene.
Exactly. And Charlie Kirk knows.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I was like, what's Charlie Kirk doing? Yeah. Like, I mean, I love Charlie Kirk, but I was just like, I don't know what the hell he was there for.
Neither do I. It said they're probably just friends now. Anyway, where was I? The footage showed the former U.S. president addressing a group over lunch during a call to his son on the phone, saying, We're going to treat you well. The dual focus on Panama and Greenland represents a cryptic attempt to expand U.S. territorial control of a nation and economic security. While Panama Canal was previously under U.S. control, Greenland remains autonomous territory of Denmark that has repeatedly rejected Americans' overturn. Trump comments follow a series of increasingly confrontational statements about the canal, including a recent threat that the U.S. would demand the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question. The Panama's president, Jose Raul Mamino, rejected Trump's demands, declaring that every square meter of the canal will remain under the Panamanian sovereignty. And which we will show you here in a second with a video that we have, that the canal area that used to be the U.S. military base down there is not completely under Panamanian control.
Yes.
In exchange, these remarks are escalation to rhetoric of crucial maritime passages, which the U.S. originally built. See, that's the other part. We built that thing.
Yes.
So why on earth would we give full control to the Panamanians when we built the damn thing and gave it to them basically for free?
Yep.
Anyway, built it originally in 1914 and operated for most of the 20th century. The confrontational stance echoes the tensions that led to the 1989 U.S. invasion of Panama. His comments sparking particular concern given the United States' history of military intervention in Panama. In December of 1989, the U.S. launched Operation Just Cause, deploying 9,000 troops to join 12,000 U.S. personnel already in the country to overthrow the Panamanian military dictator Manuel Noriega. The invasion, which resulted in the deaths of 23 U.S. service members and an estimated 500 Panamanian civilians, was condemned by the Organization of American States and the European Parliament as a violation of international law. And it also resulted in the removal of Noriega, who would later be sentenced to drug trafficking charges in 40 years in U.S. prison.
Nice.
Trump simultaneously ramped up the pressure on the territories, suggesting Canada could also become the 51st state, and mockingly referring to the exiting Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as governor. In an ex-post on Tuesday afternoon, Trudeau pushed back strongly against Trump's saying there's no snowball chance in hell that Canada will become part of the United States. Working communities in both of our countries benefit from each other's biggest trading and security partner. Yeah, but I think Canadians literally gain more from U.S. partnership than we do from them. We always have. That's how relationships are with like 90% of the people that we're involved with.
Yeah.
Because we are completely self-sufficient as a country. Not right now with what would you say, like what's it called? I can't think of it. Like industry right now.
Yeah.
Because
we're over exporting our manufacturing.
exactly. So we need that's it.
China.
Manufacturing was the word I was looking for. We need our manufacturing to come back to the United States, but we can be the United States can be completely self-sufficient with all the types of different environments that we have. Whereas every other country in the world is literally dependent on us for certain things.
Yes. And again, so China's literally crapping its pants right now. Like, the fact that they have control over the Panama Canal is a big win for them. And now they're freaking out because not only is Trump talking about tariffing China and, imposing harsh tax penalties on people who do business in China, he's talking about taking away another the Panama Canal from them. That if they're basically running that show over there, they're giving themselves great tax incentives, and they're probably paying off corrupt political leadership down there in Panama, getting kickbacks to them so they can do whatever the heck they want down there.
Yep.
So this is going to be huge. Like, China's going to be hurting. And again, that's what we have to do. China has been assisting Russia in their Ukraine war. It's like, why the heck wouldn't we be like, hey, China, guess what? You should probably stop funding and helping out with Russia because you're going to have your own problems to deal with because America's about to start doing some very critical infrastructure. It's going to be start leveraging the critical infrastructure against you. It's like, hey, guess what? Now the Panama Canal's ours, and we run the show down here now.
Well, here's another thing, too, that most people don't realize is, like, China is also, like I said, everyone's worried about them buying land up here in America, which we are worried about. That's an extremely worrisome topic. But they're doing the exact same thing in Africa. And why are they doing it in Africa? Because there are mineral-rich environment in Africa. Because China does not have the number of resources that they used to because of how big their population is.
Yes, and what else is interesting too is that a lot it's the Marxist argument or it's like the left wing argument. It's like they're going over there and they're like nobody accuses China of robbing Africa of their natural resources, but they accuse America and colonialism
because Chinese people are people of color.
Exactly, but what's so dumb is though it's like the minerals that we're harvesting from Africa, they don't have the infrastructure to harvest or maintain. It's like it's why the Na'vi from Avatar are the bad guys. They have this mineral called unobtainium that they can't harvest or use for anything, but we can, and it will help our population greatly, and we can give them, I don't know, we can build infrastructure for them, do all kinds of things for them, but then they'll be like, you're robbing them. It's like, they can't use this mineral. They have no need for it.
Yeah.
Why are they mad that we're harvesting it?
Mm-hmm. Said, granted, the only thing you argue is, we destroyed their big tree.
Yes, we destroyed them.
We destroyed their big tree god.
Yeah, that's what's so funny. It's like, I love, just go to YouTube and watch why the Na'vi are the bad guys in Avatar. It's actually pretty good.
If you remember from the original take, the Earth was dying. Mm-hmm. So that's why people were going there to get this mineral that would save the Earth, literally. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we get back to this. Trump Jr.'s Greenland visit included appearances at the controversial colonial landmarks and meeting with local residents. Though officials declined to specify the purpose of these encounters. Sorry, I cannot talk right now. There were no apparent official meetings with anyone from Greenland government. Trump posted on social media about his son's trip. Don Jr. and my reps landing in Greenland, Trump wrote. The reception has been great. They and the free world need safety, security, strength, and peace. This is a deal that must happen. Make Greenland great again. Supporters later posted videos of Trump speaking by phone to locals. So he was on the phone.
Yeah,
That's when
and what this is, it's just a shit taking. It's a shit testing the shit contest. You know what I mean? Like, he's going out there and testing the waters. He's seeing how receptive is Greenland to the idea that they would rather be an American territory than a Danish territory. Mm-hmm. And if things seem to be going as well as he's implying, that they're actually really open to it. So it's like it's all posturing. Like the Danes are like, or Denmark's like, we support a independent Greenland. It's like, but they're your territory.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's the next part of this. Mm-hmm. Is Danish Prime Minister. That's the last part, and it's over. Mette Frederiksen said on Tuesday that the future of Greenland would be decided by its people. Greenland is not for sale. But there's a little part of the quote that they leave out that says that we want to maintain Greenland sovereignty. How can you say that Greenland is sovereign, but you are the ones that own it? So, but so they can't determine that they can be, made a U.S. territory because you control it. So you literally just destroyed your own argument with the part of this little, quote that they left out in the Guardian just by happenstance.
This is so beautiful. I mean, this is why Trump keeps kicking ass. You're gonna get sick of winning again. Don't show your cards. This is why Democrats are so dumb. This is why left-wing politicians are so weak. Here's our cards. You can figure out how you can negotiate with us. They come from a position of weakness. Now, Trump is coming from, hey, I might have the worst hand in the deck, but I'm not going to let you know that I have the worst hand in the deck. So, again, this is what's so awesome about Donald Trump and his negotiating strategies. It's so awesome. It's so good to be back and have America in a position of power and authority again in the world.
Yikes. Okay. See if I can get this to work for me. But exposed. This is the video that I was talking about how Panama is not exactly ruled by the Panamanian people. Exposed. The UN and Clinton Foundation occupy old U.S. base in Panama to help supply illegal aliens on their way to America. This is an organized human trafficking operation invading our southern border. And the Clintons are funding it. Isn't that treasonous? And yes it is. So I'm going to pull up this video. I'll full screen it real quick.
Your mom's treasonous.
Tragedy.
There we go. All right, I got sound. Let me full screen this for everybody.
Then transition. Thank you.
All right, here we go.
You want to talk about a real tragedy? It's right here in the canal zone of Panama City. This whole facility used to be controlled by the U.S. government. It was a military base to protect the Panama Canal. Jimmy Carter gave it away, and now it's basically been taken over by the United Nations and NGOs. One of those right here, OIM, Organization of International Migration. They're the same organization that were handing out condoms and birth control to illegal aliens before they came over the Darien Gap into Panama. Rather than saying, stop, don't do it, they said, here's some condoms, here's some birth control for when you get raped on the way. That's how disgusting these organizations are. They pretend to be good, and all they're doing is feeding on human misery. And this entire facility here, almost every single building here now is either United Nations operation. You've got UNICEF on the other side of this building. You've got the UNHCR. Now they have two buildings. That's the refugee side of the United Nations. They've got two buildings because they've had to expand. They got too big for this. And on top of that, you even have the Clinton Foundation out here. These organizations need to be defunded, and they need to be investigated for trafficking. They are part of what the cartel's doing. You can't just blame the cartel. These organizations have to come down to. Not another dime of taxpayer dollars should go to the United Nations, and in particular, not to OIM. While they're sitting here living in luxury, they're inviting people to put their lives at risk, to put their children's lives at risk, to illegally travel out of their country and head to the United States to break into our country. Dear Kamala Harris, this is the root cause. The leftist, godless, globalist organizations that you support.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And again, they just think of that, man. Like, hey, we know that we're not only are they encouraging illegal immigration at these places, and they're saying, hey, you're going to get raped along the way. There's nothing we can do about it. But we still encourage you to go to America. Like, are you kidding me? It's like, this is insane. Like, they're making America seem like it's heaven, like it's the promised land. Once you get there, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's like, holy cow, like this is evil. I mean, again, birth control and condoms, be like, here, Mr. Raper, Coyote, can you put this on before you take advantage of me? Don't worry, I have my birth control here too, or my my Plan B pills right here, so we're good. Holy cow! I mean, who's funding these people to give them these condoms and these birth control pills? This is crazy, man. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. But that's the issue. Is like that base, that old military base, is being used by NGOs that are usually all government funded. By the way.
Mm-hmm.
Clinton Foundation is there, and it's being used by the UN. So it's clearly not completely under Panamanian control.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't think that not to be too rude here, but a poor South American, Latin American country isn't going to be like, hey, China, we would like to get a little bit of extra money here. You don't think that the Panamanian government is susceptible to corruption from being paid off by a bigger nation?
Every government's susceptible to corruption, man. Like, I mean, it's like, again, even with our own politicians here, their patriotism it only goes as deep as their pockets, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Everybody has a price. I don't care who you are. Everybody has a price. You know, if the devil came whispering into your ear, we're not Christ, man. Like, whenever Christ was tempted out in the desert, it's like, hey, I offer you the world and everything in it. You know, and Christ is like, no. But at the same time, guess what? Christ also didn't say those weren't those things for the devil to give, you know? Like, that's it, man. I mean, like, we all have a price, you know?
Yep. Well, bringing up the memes, like, speaking of, like, Trump taking over the world, so we have here, we got room for one more. It's from SKS Cartoons, and it's Trudeau in blackface with the, you know, all the little gay communist stuff, his little, like, Nazi Canadian flag.
We like to
their
say
shoulder.
people kind, not mankind.
Yeah. Yes, people kind, not mankind. Yeah. What a freaking cuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, he's getting thrown in the trash with Biden and Harris. I just think that's great. SKS Cartoons always crushes it.
Where they belong, man.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. What else do we have? I know we got a bunch of stuff for tomorrow's show.
Yeah,
with
Zuckerberg.
the Zuckerberg stuff. Man, I got a lot of that. Again, I can't just tout this one enough. These are the names of the 159. It was 158 the other day, so I don't know what happened or if this is just a typo, who voted against the Lake and Riley Act. Detain illegals over theft and a sexual assault. Pass it on. So, Democrats, this is the question I always ask you. How on earth can you justify not kicking out illegal immigrants who have committed sexual assaults
Or
and
murder against our own citizens.
Exactly. Your party is evil. That's the only, at least if your party's not evil, those 159 or 58 politicians are, and they need to be removed from office immediately.
It's like, we don't care about our populations. Those innocent baby Angel Aladdin need to get their rocks off too. Murder's just, you know, their culture doesn't view murder the same way as we do. Their culture doesn't view rape the same way we do. It's just part of their culture. We can't, you know, multiculturalism. All cultures are equal and the same. It's just their culture's beautiful too.
Yeah, unholy alliance. I like that one. Said communism and Islam, the left and Islam is an unholy alliance because it makes no sense too. Because the left's supposed to be the secular ones, but why on earth do you bow to Islam and other religions like Buddhism or whatever, but Christianity gets crapped on? This is why a lot of Christians will say straight up that the left and all these other religions that the left approves of are of the devil. Because why are you approval of all these, but Christianity is
it's
evil?
because they know they have a unique position where they can pick on Christians because Christians are supposed to turn the other cheek. You know, like I said, and we have this, and the only Christianity that the left encourages is this limp-wristed, weak Christianity where if anytime we take a position, it's a mean position that hurts people's feelings. We're the bad Christians. We're not the real Christians. The real Christians are the affirming Christians, the Christians that affirm sin, the Christians that go, God accepts homosexuality. God accepts trans people. And God does. But you know what he doesn't do? You can't live it. He loves you. He loves you, the sinner, but he hates the sin. And if you just keep saying that, oh, my sin's okay, that's like me that's like me taking the Islamic philosophy. It's like going, well, I can sexually assault and rape as many women as I want as long as I say my Hail Mary at the end of the day, you know, we're good. It's like, that's not how it works, man. You have to actually have a change from within. It has to be an honest and true thing. You have to love the Lord with all your heart, you know.
Anyway.
But, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
So getting back to the memes, said here is a meme that the left is like freaking out about. Oh, Canada. And it's, you know, it's all Canada is now America.
Yeah, oh, Canada. More like, oh, Canada question mark.
Yeah, really. But Donald Trump posted that, so you know all the left is freaking out about it. All right. More stuff for tomorrow regarding that. Oh, yeah. This is another story that you never hear about. A lesbian couple who beat their 5-year-old son with a hammer, duct taped his eyes shut, and kicked him in the groin in a brutal attack that caused him to suffer 2 strokes are in jail for 20 years. And again,
just 20 years?
Well, just remember, that's a life sentence. Like, people don't get that. Like I said, you've been sentenced to life in prison. Life in prison is 20 years. That's why you hear them say like multiple life sentences or a double life sentence. So if you get a double life sentence, that's 40 years.
See, listen to me. Like I always assumed the life sentence just meant till you die.
No, it does not mean that. That's what everybody's big common misconception is. It's 20 years. 20 years in prison is life.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh yeah. Then there's this, and like, I always find it funny that they're like, women can be in charge of anything and do everything. We were watching Game of Thrones and talking about this too. It's like, strong, independent women, women leaders. Like, if you saw a dude doing this, you would never want him to be in charge of anything ever again.
No.
And I would say it's the same with women. And that was kind of the point of the last season of Game of Thrones. It was two women, leaders that if they couldn't have everything exactly the way they wanted it, nobody could.
Yeah. 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 That was funny. That's exactly how it is, though.
I love this. It said United States, Northern Colonies, and the Greenland Protectorate. I like that. So, yeah, there's just so many of these being made right now. I think the Panama Canal, South Texas, U.S.
Oh, my God.
The Texans would love that.
Chad, we might need to make another meme, the Lord of the Rings meme.
Oh, yeah?
And it needs to be the orc ones, like, looks like colonialism's back on the menu, boys.
Let's do it. We're doing it. Do it. Write that down right now and text it to me so that way I remember to make that. That's good stuff.
I love
That's
it.
good stuff, man. See here, more stuff for tomorrow. Oh, let's go ahead and do this one now.
Yeah.
If repeat after me, trans ice cream is trans ice cream.
Oh, I love it, man.
So renaming things changes them into other things. So eat it. Oh my God, that is good. Whoever made this, that is dirty. I love it.
That's a dank meme right there. We salute you, memers.
Fight with memes is the one that posted, but who knows if he actually posted. Everyone knows that all great memes are still.
That's true. That is true.
That's for tomorrow. Oh yeah. Then there's this one. This guy posted this. I was great from Chadwick Moore. I don't want to give Trump any more ideas, but these guys don't have guns anymore.
Yeah, man. Hey, I mean, Australia, you're basically you're defenseless. If America, you know what? We're retaking an old British prison colony. That's what we're doing.
So yeah,
the traitor colony takes over the prison colony.
Exactly. So all of our friends who are from California not from California, from Australia, would probably think that that's great. Yes. New nation. Our nation is going to be free now.
Yep.
Oh, goodness me. And then speaking of like people ruining countries and making countries and cities worse, here is all Los Angeles on fire because of Gavin Newsom's poor leadership.
Yep.
So
you have a homeless crisis, and it was a homeless guy that started this fire, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what started this one, but it doesn't matter. The problem is that California has that law where you can't touch their forests and stuff. Mm-hmm. And anybody that's lived out in the country knows that if you don't
have to do controlled burns,
you have to do controlled burns, and you have to tend
the undergrowth
to keep stuff like this from happening. I mean, how many times have we burned like leaves or whatever else to keep our property safe? I mean, back burning, all this stuff, and like the Bureau of Land Management, the other BLM, which is another evil organization, the Bureau of Land Management, that's what those people, not the Bundys, but the other ones, the Hammonds got arrested for because they did a back burn on their property. They burnt some government property that they put out themselves because the fire
out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. There was no buildings around there. It was just property. Empty
and
property.
They got sentenced to jail for terrorism charges because they set fire to government property.
Yeah. And, even I had a lawyer buddy who's a judge now saying that me and Chad were wrong on this. Then we sent him all the case notes on the Hammonds, and he was like, "Oh wow, never mind. Yeah, these guys got hosed."
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't know anything about it, don't start jumping about it.
Yeah. So it's nuts, And again, the other thing too is California probably doesn't even have the infrastructure to have people go in there and do controlled burns. Like they probably don't even have a group of people to do that. They probably go, well, that's what the firefighters are for.
Exactly.
We don't need to do that. We have firefighters to handle this.
Exactly. This next one I'll just do. We've shown this before, but it has to be just restated again and again. These children are talking about being martyrs and killing Jews. Is the greatest thing I can. This is you can't. Oh yeah, these kids are talking about being martyrs and killing Jews. Like this is why there's a whole generation of these kids that cannot be saved.
Not just
They've
a
been
whole
indoctrinated.
generation, an entire, like, I mean, every single generation up till now. And they all believe that killing Jews and Christians is the best way to get to heaven. I mean, imagine if, like, tell a little kid, tell me from the time I'm born, son, all you have to do to get everlasting life in heaven is to kill as many Jews and Christians as you can, and you will have 72 beautiful, hot women ready to service you and pleasure you in the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole generation's indoctrinated. This is why we cannot change these people. We talked about how they had plays, that they put on plays about killing
In grade
Israel.
school.
Yeah, in grade school. So this is why when they come over here, they're not. You can't just go, oh look, they're American now, or they're European now, or whatever. They can't. You cannot get that out of their heads.
Yeah. Again, that little girl video where she's like, I'm so happy to have, she was like 4 when she left, and she's like, I'm so happy to have my country back. Syria is free. It's like, when are you going back?
Yeah, no kidding. Next one here is posted by Sargon of Akkad, or Carl Benjamin. Says here, white grooming gang gets caught abusing 30 girls. The youngest was 5. Why didn't this receive any attention? And it's true, this did happen, but then Carl Benjamin posted, because nobody's protecting them or defending them. Mm-hmm. There's no government cover-up of it because they're Islamic.
Yeah, this is the but white people argument. But white people did it too. The problem is it's not even close to being on the same scale. I mean, 30 girls or 1,500 girls?
So, what are you
30
talking
girl-
about? 500,000.
Yeah. Oh, it's 500,000?
Yeah, it's 500,000.
Oh, because it had been in
because it's been
existence
going for
15
over 10
years.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
exactly.
Right.
So
Jesus.
that they're not even on the same level of abuse yet. And 2,
look,
nobody's covering this up. These guys were probably arrested and put in jail, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, you think these guys are out walking around? No, all the Muslims that have been convicted of the assaults have been let out, or they're already free, or 120 hours community service. Mm-hmm. Sorry, you didn't understand our British cultures and values. Like, it's not your fault that you were molesting small girls.
Yep. So next one I have pulled up is Fetterman. Illegals who commit crimes all need to go. If we can't back Lake and Riley Act, that's the reason why we lost. And that's 100% true. I don't understand why Democrats think that. This is why we just talked about those 158 or 159 Democrats that voted against this. How can you say that your party is not evil?
Yeah.
You are protecting evil.
Yeah. It is evil. There's no other way to describe it. It's evil.
Oh, and then we also forgot, we already talked about this, Trump is wanting to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That's the other part that we forgot to mention.
Yep.
So Trump is just making the world America, baby.
Yep. Might as well. We run the world, so.
Mm-hmm. That's really, I think, about it. I think we'll talk about that one real quick, because I think the rest of this stuff is all for the
Zuckerberg.
For the Zuckerberg thing tomorrow. So let me go make sure. Oh, there's one right there. The Don Roe Doctrine, Trump's vision for the hemisphere. Our land, 51st state, Gulf of America, Panama Canal.
Panama Canal. I
like
love
that.
it. I love it.
That's great. It's absolutely great. So let me see. We'll get to this last video down here, and I think we'll wrap it up and end it here in just a second.
All right. Sounds good.
Let me see here. Where is it? It's this one right here. Oh, yeah. Speaking of, like, how California is being run into the ground, New York, it's $9 to drive your car into NYC. This guy, $9.
There is a Jewish joke in here too.
Yeah, it's like a penny pincher. He's pinching every penny he can.
Go to New York, well, I'll just drive this scooter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
charge me for this.
I mean, he's just the first of many. I mean, I guarantee a lot more people are gonna start doing this. Like, they're gonna be like, why would I drive a car when I could just do this instead? And again,
but that's the point. They're trying to go green, so don't drive your gas guzzler here. But I mean, even then, like electric vehicles, electric vehicles are being charged for this too.
Yeah. Again, it's all ridiculous, man. It's so stupid.
New York is a failed state at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but the only other thing that I think that I have was this right here. How a hero dad rescued his kidnapped daughter, 14, from a boat after she was missing for 26 days of hell in a Taken-style plot.
Wow.
And I would love to actually read this whole thing. Like, I need to find this actual article. And, of course, they say the real-life Liam Neeson.
Yeah, no shit. I now I have to know. I must know.
But that's really about all I think I have for today. Everything else is more Facebook-related, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. So.
Yeah. And there'll be no show Friday. Just throwing that out there. We have work this upcoming weekend, so going to do Army stuff. So figured we go ahead and disseminate that information. So that's about all I've got for you today. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that's about all we've got for you. God bless you, everybody.
And hang on, I got one last thing to do.
Oh, yeah?
I can call it. There we go. And see you later, everybody.
Keeper. Guys, full thrust takeoff, leaving Greenland. You see some high performance stuff.
Process. We are aboard Trump Force One on a full thrust takeoff. Take a look, everybody.
Oh yeah. Ground speed's picking up. Definitely a shorter runway than a lot of the.
Rotate.
Gonna send it.
I'll sit right here. And select. This is live over green. You want a left turn this one? Left turn, and then give me direct. There's inbound. VNav. LNav. VNav first. Okay, got it. LNav. Strike that line out for you.
3:30 in the afternoon. Sun's already setting.
That's fine. Absolutely breathtaking place. Press one. That's up after takeoff. That is a full thrust takeoff.
Awesome day, boys and girls. We'll see you in Florida in a couple of hours.
Make Greenland great again.
Let's do it.